Bienvenue. On va commencer. Asseyez-vous. Merci.
Welcome everybody, welcome and good morning. Please do sit down. Okay, good morning everybody and everyone. Thibault, what time is it? What time is it? No, wrong. It's not 2 minutes past 9, it's a Wakanday time. So just to explain what we're doing, yesterday we had the 4D Summit, the day before that, but today it's not the 4D Summit, it's Wakanday Day. We'll talk a lot about Wakanday, a little bit of 4D as well in the conference room called Versailles. Tomorrow it will be everything. So we'll be welcoming different communities with us today, 4D developers, JavaScripters, JavaScript, PHP specialists. We'll be mixing everybody together. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, we hope that the person who lost their set of keys yesterday has been able to pick them up. And there was another personal effect which was lost yesterday. I hope you've been... here it is. Has anybody amongst you lost this object today? I'm prepared to hand it back to them personally. Did you have a nice evening last night? Did you enjoy yourselves? Okay, today I'm afraid we don't have such a large-scale celebration event. I can't really waste time because we got welcoming so many different participants and new sponsors. Thibault, what are you doing? That's not the right slide. We've got new sponsors. We've got Amazon, Mozilla, who are doing the honor, who's doing us the honor of backing us for this event. And we've got sponsors, media sponsors as well, InfoQ, which is an interesting website for the JavaScript community and general development community. And with Programme, another group which has backed us over a month for this particular event. So thanks ever so much to them. Now let me go back to the previous slide. As we have two events, we have two hashtags. You can communicate on one or the other. They're on the screen for you there. Just a brief reminder. The agility workshop, it was so successful yesterday. Christophe Man had to actually turn people away, which meant that we've set up a catch-up session on that for those who aren't quite yet agile enough. So there'll be an agility session at 10:30, and if you want to take part, it's on the second floor outside the 4D staff door. You wait for Christophe there, and he'll guide you through the Wabbit Warren that is this building, and you'll have to accept that it's either in English or French. The minimum number is 8, a maximum number or 15 participants. I think I've said all I have to say, or almost. Just to remind you, they have Wi-Fi. There were a few teething problems yesterday. The Mac computers, owners of Mac computers, had more trouble in connecting than PC, but the Wi-Fi is conf.4d.com. There's an evaluation form available online for the sessions and workshops. You can also evaluate the sessions and workshops you had yesterday, and those are tomorrow. But if you evaluate those to tomorrow, wait till tomorrow till you've had them before you evaluate them. I'd like to wish you an absolutely fantastic conference, and now hand over to my colleagues Thibault and Jürgen.
Well, this is great. Thanks for making it to Wakanday. We're very excited that you guys made it. And we are talking about Wakanda a lot, as you can imagine. So we're going to start right now with our keynote. My name is Jürgen Fesselmeyer. I'm the product manager for Wakanda. And
my name is Thibault Guier, and I'm speaking English. I'm saying that to the French people attending here, so you should be able to understand me without translation. So we're going to start this keynote with some numbers. First, we're pretty happy to have more than 120,000 downloads of Wakanda since the first release. So this is a global download, and downloads are increasing. So it's it's cool for us. We're happy with it. And Wakanday is a worldwide citizen. Developers come from 185 different countries. Also, something we are quite happy with it is the number of active forum members. We have more than 1,700 forum members, which is just 1,000% less than the total active developers, because only part of the developers subscribe to the forum, but it's a huge number because to download the product, you don't need to subscribe the forum. You subscribe the forum just because you want to do it. And I take the opportunity of being here to thank you all for building this community and helping us making the community bigger and bigger. It's you now. A slide.
So we also got a lot of webinars online. You may have visited some of them. If you subscribe to the Wakanday newsletter, you get invitations. We have more than 10 webinars worldwide already, and we have scheduled more of those. In case you missed, one or the other, you can always go to this address and watch them online. We usually have 100 people online at the events, and usually 1,000 on average visits for each of the videos. So it's pretty good. It's a very good, learning resource for you. And those webinars go from, data modeling to deploying your applications with Wakanday. Another really great, learning tool is our learning center that's on wakanday.org. And we basically give you great videos, over 40 videos, and sample applications and sample code to play with, so you can, learn Wakanday, pick up some good skills, and check it out. It's on our webpage. And just a couple of weeks ago, we released Wakanday 3. So that's basically we put more than 20 features went into the product. So from backup, restore, journaling, those are really very exciting features like IPv6 support or gatekeeper support for Mac OS X. So those are really great and exciting features, but the real focus for this release was stability, to increase the stability of the product so we can feel very comfortable working in this environment.
Yeah, just to summarize the QA process, we do on a daily basis the QA testing of the product. So we test, of course, every part of Wakanday, the server, the application framework, and the studio itself. So all our sources are hosted on a Perforce server as a version control server. And every day, Jenkins, which is the unit test tool that is used by almost everybody, every day gets the latest build and then run a set of tests. So we check the server and all the server-side APIs to make sure the file API works as expected, the image API works as expected, and so on. We also test, of course, the application framework in a browser, but we use for this PhantomJS, which is also one of the state-of-the-art products for the unit testing. And we use Maven to do more and more testing on the server. So at the end, you have the go, no-go version of the server that you can see on the download page. To test the user interface in the studio, we use Sikuli and Selenium, also state-of-the-art product for unit testing. So we run this test every day, several times a day. So at the end, you have the go, no-go state of each release. And the result, this continuous integration of testing, is public, is available at this URL, ci.wakanday.org. So every day, you can check the status of the version you're using. Either it's a production release or it's a development release. So typically, in the production release, the tests are OK. And for the production release, the stability may be more or less good, depending on the feature we are implementing. Enough talking. Let's start with some demo and example of Wakanday 3.
So the first demo we're going to show is a preview of what we call DSL for dynamic model creation. What that means is we provide you, or we're going to provide you with a sort of like an API to create your data models using JavaScript, right? I mean, today you can do this using the data modeler, and we give you an additional tool to do the same thing with pure JavaScript. So I want to show you that. Let's switch over. And you have our, want to start this with a simple example, 2 data classes, company and employee. And those data classes were in fact already created using JavaScript. So I want to show that quickly. This is the unguided model. And what you do is you have a data store catalog. And as part of this instance, you add classes like company and employee and already create some, some primary key here. And now we want to add some attributes, some simple storage attributes. So let's just uncomment that code for company. So revenues, for example, creation date. Oops, this one, no, not yet. And for employee, we're going to have first name, and employee first name, last name, salary, and so forth. Gender. Oh, it's flickering. Okay.
You should stop using your keyboard, I guess.
Oh, magic. And as we save, this JavaScript file, the model is automatically updated. So at this point, the model, editor becomes a viewer. So you see basically what we did in JavaScript is now presented in the viewer. And as we move back, we can not only can we create basic attributes, we can also create define relationships like this one for employees. So a company has employees, and the reverse as well. A employee has that's over here, the related entity. An employee has an employer, which is the company, and that's how you do it. I hope you can all see this. It's flickering a lot, sorry about that. So as we go back into the model, click here and here, you see the relationship is updated automatically, right? That's pretty cool. Not only that, we can also have self-referential ones. And let's see that here. So in employee, you have a manager and staff. So you can basically have a full set of available to modify and add classes, as many as you want in JavaScript. And we think that's pretty cool. And we also moved ahead and actually finished that whole data class model here. This is how it looks when it's done. It's the same thing. And we just give you a suggestion on how you can basically structure your code. So in the model, JS here will include each of the data classes as a JavaScript file. And we have utility functions that basically have stuff that you would need across all of those data classes. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to talk about this more in the JavaScript 201 class, so check it out. And that's it for the DSL for dynamic model creation.
Next topic is not a big part of WAC 3, just every web application needs to send mail, administration mail or whatever. And for those of you who start with Wakanday 1, you may remember that the first release you had to start a system worker and use an external code to send an email. So since WAC 2, we've added the WAF mail module, so you can easily send a mail from the server. Then you guys were requesting the ability to send an attachment, so it's done in WAC 3. You just call the add attachment routine, you give it a file object, and then it's done. So it's not a super big feature, it's just to remind you that we're also listening to feature requests and we are implementing them. Another really major feature of WAC 3 is the ability to backup, restore, and journalize. Journalize your data. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to switch.
Yeah.
okay, so backup, restore, journaling. We added some APIs, as Thibaut just mentioned, and we created a little demo here for you to follow through on how this really works. So first thing to note is here on the the File Explorer. In our example, I set up a backups folder, and I have my usual data folder, right? It's all there. And in my settings, in my project settings, what I do is basically I configure database journaling. So I enable database journaling, and I also say, in case I want to have my journal in a separate location to my data files, right? That's actually a very good practice in general, because whenever something happens to your data, you still have the journal file. And just for you to know, a journal file basically keeps track of all the updates, to the database. So whatever you do to the database, that's also kept in the journal. So you can, the database server can then retrospectively fit the changes onto the database file. So let me just show you that quickly and run the demo. So here's like a very simple application with a list of books. We have about 320 items here, right? 320 books here. Let's add some books, and let's just run a backup. So this backup button is actually hooked up to the API that Thibaut just described. And you see here on the left side, we have a new backup right there, right? So let's go back. And at this point, we have a backup. Let's add some more books. Let's add 400 books. And let's see, and let's go back and say, well, now actually something has happened, right? Something has happened to our data. We shut down the Wakanday server. And we actually go into the Finder and grab one of the backups, latest backup here. Yeah, let me just actually delete the data folder. So something happens to our data folder, right? So we go into our backup, grab the data folder. So we have the backup data folder, but please note that we also have this in our settings file. We also defined, we tick this one. It's called integrate journal when database is not up to date. So basically what that means is as soon as we bring up the server again, it applies the backup plus the journal, right? So let's start up the server again. Go to the page, and as we reload, we'll have how many records?
400.
400. So all the records are there. It's taken from the backup and applied from the journal. So we are where we were, before something had happened to the data.
And this was a feature requested for WAC 3. So the point is that in the demo, you've seen that the backup was holding only 300 and so records. And then when we start the server again, it automatically joins with the log file. But you can also do everything manually if you want. You have APIs for that. You can start a share worker and do a backup every minute, every hour, every day if you want. And also you can programmatically restore your data file or restore the data file of another Wakanday application. Another topic very interesting in WAC 3 is the new web page structure. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So basically, let's switch over to my computer.
Hélas.
It's flickering again, my Flickr computer. So let's actually create a new solution here. I just want to briefly
Yes.
on the
So it creates a new solution. I mean, basically, this new feature is the ability to have one page that has different views, one for desktop, one for mobile, one for tablet. So when you use the URL, you just use the name of the page, and automatically Wakanday detects the user agent and serves the correct page. You don't have to do it by yourself in a request handler or so on. So here he's creating a very nice desktop interface, so just a button that has a look for a desktop application. Then he creates a page, a view for the. He creates a view. You create a view for the phone. No, it's cool. It's flickering, but it's cool. Ah, you are.
I created, you know.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Let's do this again. Sorry.
So basically, what we are going to do is to create 3 different views for the same page, but to make it short, we are not going to create a very complex interface, just a button with the appropriate look and feel. 10 minutes is going to be short, actually. Because Jean-Michel was way too long. But we can speed up. So he creates a page. He creates 3 pages. Come on, go faster. You're flickering, so you can be fast. See what I mean? No, let's create the page. So this one is a desktop page. Now create a view. You have a pop-up menu at the top right to say, I want to create a view for the tablet, for example. You create a button for tablet. And then he creates a view. Come on. For
I'm trying.
the phone.
Faster.
Yeah. Okay, just run the page.
Run the page.
So you run the page in Safari. Safari detects the user agent is Safari, of course. So it serves the desktop page. If we change dynamically the user agent, for example, to an iPhone or to an iPad, Wakanday server automatically gives the appropriate page. You don't have to do anything. So it's quite easy to create different views of the same page depending on the device, because of course you don't create the same, mainly you don't create the same interface for a desktop computer and for a mobile. So it's an easy way to get this page.
Cool. Okay.
Yes, it's cool. Git is a very popular integrated source control, and we are backing Git in the DNAs of Wakanday for the next version. So you have access to Git. Yes, try to change the adapter. So let me talk about Git. So you can, in WAK3, you can interact with Git. So share your solution, update them, have a team development, commit, and so on, directly from the studio. And also, what's interesting is that Wakanday server can also act as a Git service, which means that you can use in your production server the Git service. So when you're ready from your development and your test environment, you just need to push the solution to the Wakanday server in production, and it's done. Everything, your code is updated.
Okay, so just create a new solution here. Woo. Yeah. First applause.
This is a new feature in WAK3. We can stop flickering.
It's the stop flicker feature. So here in this new...
But it takes 20 minutes to work. Merci, Choisel. Thank you.
We'll just check, Let's just add actually a couple of lines of code and put that into a local Git repository. And that's actually a preview that we are showing here. So that's the Git preview, and we are currently working on this. So we integrated it this way right now. So tools, create repository, and as soon as we do that, not only does it create the Git local repository, but also adds all the files to the repo here. So you'll see that you get the green light here, right? So that means all of those files are checked in, and we just do another line of code. And as soon as we save it, you actually see here on the left side, it detected that there was a modification, and you can go back into Git, check in locally, and save first, commit. Give this change set a comment, And now, we're good. We are all of our, all of our files are checked in locally. But now we actually want to push this to, let's say, a GitHub server, right? And we also baked that in, made it extremely easy. So just, do git, and we'll push this, and we publish this actually to to my account. So let's just, have another comment here. Go to my account here, and you see the repo, my local repo was actually now posted on GitHub. Without a lot of command line, it's all integrated, and we're going forward, making this very seamless, very easy to use for you guys. So that's so far the Git integration. We'll talk more about this in the afternoon session, about Git.
Yeah, a cool feature. Thank you. Next and last example is something that is in the development branch, is the data connectivity, the ability to connect live from your Wakanda application to another running Wakanda application. So you just use 2 lines of code in your model, and you have an immediate access to all the data classes of the distant Wakanda application. So you can use them just like if they were local to your data store. So you can query, you can update, you can delete, and you can use these classes in the user interface. And I'm going to show you this by connecting to the application where you can vote, when you can, comment on dit vote? On dit pas voter.
Evaluate.
Evaluate the session, conf.wakanda.org, to create a quick iPad interface with it.
I'll leave you this and switch over.
Okay, so my model is empty, just one data class. The code of the model is, for those of you who were here with the 4D conference, it's the same code actually. So we just connect to the distant Wakanda application. You can also add credential, user, and password. But for this demo, we're just logging as usual user, so we will not be able to delete or whatever, but we are able to check and to see, to access the distant data classes. So here they are. We have all the classes of the application that lets you evaluate the session. So let's use them to create an interface. Untitled is good for tablet. So I'm using a split view. Can you comment what I'm doing? Because I can't speak.
Okay, sure. So we're going to do the split view. We basically want to have, our speakers on the left side and each speaker's sessions on the right side here on the split view. And so Thibaut is just going to quickly, drop a grid here, 2 grids, in fact, and now binds it to the distant data classes that we just loaded in dynamically, right? So we're going to have just, speaker name is probably just fine in the list. And this is going on all live, right? I mean, this is the live application that you all use, and now we're going to do a live query right there. So we're going to add on the right side the data grid, and we're also going to have some, speaker photos added there. And not only can we do this on the client side, we can also browse this on the server side, right? We can just query the data classes as we would normally. Here we have like a speaker photo. Add the title here with speakers and sessions. And then basically we want to show you that in an emulator, right? So we're going to launch the emulator here as it would look like on a real iPad device. And now just rotate it quickly.
What was the name? Untitled one.
So add the name of the web page, right? And it loads up the tablet page as we designed it. And as Thibaut goes through the list on the left side, the sessions will appear as we had expected, right?
I have my picture, but the other don't
And
have.
of course, Thibaut wants to show his picture. So let's see.
Now let's see it
Where are you?
again. Yeah. Up. Well,
Allez,
okay,
allez,
it's
allez.
me.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go. So it's all there. Pretty cool, huh?
So really, you. I don't want to see this. We have it. It's telling me last minute. Well, we don't care actually. We are on stage. We stay on stage until the end. Oh, sorry. So let's talk about the roadmap now.
So yeah, let's just quickly talk about what's coming down the road. So we have actually done, I think, a pretty good job on releasing our sources, at least the C++ sources of the server and the WAF, to the open source. You can get to the sources on github.com/Wakanda. And we're going to continue that effort, making it easier to basically compile from the sources and have more of a community around our source code there. In terms of releases, we have about a release per quarter. Roughly, right? And what that means is we have several we have a development channel, which is basically our nightly builds go there. And as we have seen, you'll see that you can monitor the quality of that stuff right on our continuous integration page. And so what we do is basically we integrate a couple of features every time in every release, but we're also working continuously on features that are more long-term, like that are feature themes that are, like the Git preview that you saw. Basically, those will go, each version, each release, you'll see, some progress there. And here's basically just an overview of what we're planning over the next year. And our trajectory for Wakanday is basically not only do we want to have a great, full stack JavaScript development environment, but we also want to have a great deployment environment. So all of those feature themes are actually going, follow that trajectory. So you'll see some of those happened already: mobile development, data connectivity, MySQL connector. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And all of those, simple features and feature themes actually follow a whole trajectory there. So this is just a glimpse into what we are planning to do. And with that, we want to thank you and have fun today at Wakanday.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening.